Hi, Namaste. My name is HRIDAYANANDA. I'm a French-Canadian hypnotherapist that has worked with thousands of clients, and my special field of interest is brainwashing, mind control by cults. Over the last few weeks, I have made several videos to expose the terrible mistake of Swami Bhaktivedanta, the leader, the founder of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And I've received a communication from someone telling me, Henry, do you have an agenda to expose and destroy the reputation of Swami Bhaktivedanta and the Hare Krishna movement? And my answer is that I view the Hare Krishna movement and many other cults from a point of view of brainwashing. Many devotees of the Hare Krishna movement would like to think of Swami Bhaktivedanta as someone that was pure, perfect, self-realized spiritual master, when in reality he made many mistakes that have destroyed the life, especially of the children that were in the schools in America and in India. Many of those children were so abused physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, that now more than 25 of those ex-students of those schools have committed suicide. I have been doing those videos because I believe that there is an enormous amount of brainwashing still happening in the Hare Krishna movement. And part of that brainwashing is the so-called gurus of the Hare Krishna movement right now telling their followers that Swami Bhaktivedanta was pure and perfect. I must say that I have been inspired to do those videos by reading the books of my friend Henry Duktovsky, especially this book, The 11 Naked Emperor, describing what happened after the death of Swami Bhaktivedanta in 1977, where 11 of his disciples decided that they were now spiritual master. And these 11 created disaster. They asked people to follow them as spiritual master. And then they gave orders to their followers, orders that went so far as telling their disciple, you go kill this one and you go kill that one. Some of the orders was to go in the streets of America and Europe for years on end to collect money for their spiritual master. Sometimes 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, thinking that they were serving God by serving the so-called representative of Swami Bhaktivedanta. And each and every one of them claimed that they were representative, pure representative of Swami Bhaktivedanta. The 11 are now mostly gone, except 2. And I knew very well those 2. The first one is PATAKA. I knew him in 1970. He thought that he was such a great devotee. He was a sannyasi and I was a brahmachari. And he used to throw me his clothes to wash, considering me inferior, because I was a simple monk, a brahmachari. He was considered by the leader at the time, like Tamal Krishna, to be a fanatic. And he has never been called to answer for the mistake that he did in 1977. He knew very well that his friend, Bhavananda Child Basis, was a lifelong homosexual and pedophile. He knew very well that Kirtan Ananda, Keith M, was a lifelong homosexual and pedophile. He knew the stories of everyone that was elected to be gurus, and he did absolutely nothing because he wanted himself a piece of the pie. This guy is a dangerous asshole as far as I'm concerned, that likes to put pictures on the internet of people washing his feet with milk and honey. He might have 50,000 disciples right now, but he is no guru in my book. Then there is HRIDAYANANDA. HRIDAYANANDA is Jewish, and this really galled me for all the devotees of Krishna that are Jewish, knowing that Swami Bhaktivedanta said terrible thing about the Jewish people, including that Adolf Hitler was a good man. He said that Hitler got upset with the Jews only because the Jews were financing the people that were against him. He said that the Jewish people didn't care much about their own religion. All they think about is money. And you have people like this Jewish HRIDAYANANDA that keeps telling people that he is a spiritual master. Now he has invented something new, Krishna West, which basically is the same philosophy that God is blue God Krishna living on a spiritual planet, on and on. But you don't have to wear robes or shave head. You can have a pair of pants and keep your long hair. Swami Bhaktivedanta in 1970 asked me to please take HRIDAYANANDA with me to open centers in South America. And I told Swami Bhaktivedanta that I didn't want to because I could not stand him. He would sit in classes and pretend that he was a great philosopher. He could quote this philosopher, this other philosopher. It was all really bullshit because he did not have much of a heart. Devotee's secretary, who I had conversation with, told me that many times HRIDAYANANDA would ejaculate in his underwear night after night, and in the morning he would give his underwear to his secretary to be washed. He didn't do it himself. He fell in love so many times, but then he was stuck because he had made all those promises to remain celibate for life, and then he had disciple that he had to show off that he was a good devotee. In many ways, he's a very sad case of an hypocrite in the Hare Krishna movement. And this brainwashing is still going on in the Hare Krishna movement. The book of my friend Henry Degolsky is called The 11 Naked Emperor. But now there is hundreds of naked emperor. The Hare Krishna movement, ISKCON, has now more than 80 initiating spiritual master. And if we take the disciple of Swami Bhaktivedanta, that declared himself spiritual master. We have several hundreds of them that are, in my opinion, emperor, that are naked. For me, a true spiritual master is a self-realized master. And there's an ocean of difference between a believer in God and someone who has realized God. Among the hundreds of little naked emperors, some of them are taking tragic advantage of being naked, like this guy, Paramadvaiti Ulrich Alan, that possibly has a couple thousand followers around the world. He has declared himself to be a spiritual master, and at the same time, he has been raping women. There is now more than 40 complaints around the world of him touching ladies in all kinds of unscrupulous ways. And there's many others of those that are sexually active in secret, claiming that they are celibate. My videos are basically to help the viewer question their own belief. In India it's called Jnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge. A life that is unexamined is not worth living. Thank you very much. Namaste.